What up? What up? All right, so those two opening tracks produced by yours truly. First one called Dunkin' on the Ops. Second one called Swords. It was supposed to be me trying to produce a track like RZA back in 2013. All right, so as you can tell by this fucking bright ass red jacket that I'm wearing, we about to get into some shit. I'm actually gonna turn around real quick for those that don't know what this company is. It's gonna say the logo on my back, so I figured I'd show you. That company. This piece of shit. This piece of shit company. This piece of shit company that I used to work for. We about to dig deep. All right. Hold up, I gotta refix my microphone. All right. So the story starts like this. The story starts like this. Before I got into the cannabis industry, I used to work for a clothing store or clothing department. And while I was there, I realized that I worked in a section that was most likely never, ever, ever gonna get a promotion. The whole purpose of the people in my section being there was basically just to work at the bottom and not realize that there is a 0% chance of us getting promoted or getting higher pay because of the way that specific system of that company was set up. And the way it was set up was probably put into motion before I was even born. So any other person who thinks positive would probably say that, oh, think positive, there's a chance you're gonna get up to wherever you want, and then they walk away and never ever come back again. Because that's, you know how, man, if you've heard people try to push that whole, oh, you're negative shit, you realize quickly that lots of times they push all that positivity shit and then they walk away, and whenever shit's really going down, they're never around. They cut off all fucking communications to make sure that they're never around. I pointed that out in the last episode of Biohazard RX. I briefly spoke about a person that I've known for years that came to this job and spent 10 minutes while I was at work telling me how this is the worst company ever. I shouldn't be working here. I should be somewhere else, this, and that, blah, blah, blah. Even though 10 years before that, that person was telling me how bad cannabis is and how it kills sperm cells and I won't be able to have children and all that bullshit. So, of course, years later, she gets a boyfriend, or I should say ex-boyfriend, that, of course, gets her to finally open her fucking mind after everybody else who's younger than her opened their fucking mind up to this spiritual product. So I guess he opened her mind to the spiritual product and got it in her head that after a couple years of using this product that she'd have enough knowledge on the product to come talk to someone like me who's a cannabis grower and has plenty of proof and evidence on his Instagram page. And the whole fucking reason that he came to this place I'm about to speak about was specifically to grow cannabis at a different company. So let me open up the statistics. So now, all you positive people out there, I highly doubt that you've ever taken the time out of your day to type in these words that we see up in this search. Let me read it out for you. It says African American cannabis arrest percentage. Now, if we scroll, there's pages and fucking pages and pages of statistics and graphs and bar graphs and line graphs that were taken over decades, not just for the country, but every specific state. There's even pictures of vice presidents who are basically being accused of being a reason for a lot of these arrests. There's even a fucking chart that shows arrests by race. It's all blurry. I don't want to click on this shit and actually go there, but we already know that white people are going to be the lowest percentage. So yeah, there's plenty of info that's going to show you black people specifically place within the cannabis industry across the entire world. Not just today, not just back in the day, but ever since the beginning of the fucking world, black people have always been put at the bottom. in this industry that just recently became legal, it was perceived that maybe this would be a chance for black people to not be at the bottom. But I'm gonna show you how, of course, this industry is no different from any other industry in this entire fucking world. Black people are at the bottom. So back in the day, there used to be a police chief that a lot of our OGs and uncles and dads and grandfathers who probably aren't here no more would remember. It's a guy named Daryl Gates. Now, if you've seen the movie Straight Outta Compton, you might have seen a very interesting vehicle at the beginning of that movie that is no longer used. I tried to look that vehicle up specifically on YouTube and I found no fucking evidence of it. The last time I tried to, oh yeah, by the way, this is the second time I'm recording this episode. I'm actually trying to record it a little bit shorter, but still give the same amount of info. So the last time when I tried to record this, I tried to type in and find videos of this vehicle that I'm speaking about, and I could not find any. The evidence of this shit that this man on this screen has done when I was a child isn't even fucking, like, you can't find it. One thing that I've always wanted to let people know is how specific people in charge or people who have power are on erasing specific groups of people's history and information. The reason I say this is because currently, right now, specifically black people are going through a crisis of schools completely pulling history and information, uh, literature, basically anything that's even been touched by a black person is going to be removed from schools within the next 10 years. Like, so ever since the beginning of time, and this is a fact, I know a lot of positive people out there probably want to go against the grain and say it's not a fact, but it's a fucking fact that African Americans are treated like bugs that should be exterminated. And this person is, in my opinion, no different, because this man would have a tank with a fucking batarang attached to it, driving through people's houses at fucking 1 a.m. for a fucking cannabis arrest sometimes. I mean, of course, when cannabis is involved, before it became legal, it was an excuse on being able to basically search and seizure whoever the fuck you wanted. Oh, this person supposedly might have guns, but we know for sure they have marijuana because we saw someone smoking a joint in front of their house. Let's go break in their shit. Let's go just break through the fucking window. Let's get the search warrant, all that shit. Let's get them in the system. That's usually how it would fucking go. Something along the lines of that. Brief exaggeration, but a lot of it is fact. Harry Anslinger, another very important figure in this story I'm about to tell. So for those of you who are very, very tied into just the history of cannabis, you might see, I guess you could say, a twin dragon to Daryl Gates, except this person is someone of before Daryl Gates' time. But we're basically trying to do it in chronological order. So this man right here, as you can see, was born in 1892. He was born a fucking long time ago. This racist asshole was basically the fucking first government official who became basically the Federal Bureau of Narcotics. So think about the time period. The Federal Bureau of Narcotics existing in that time period specifically is going after black and Latino people. This is of the time period of the early jazz musician days. And if you know your history, you know that back then cannabis, or marijuana as they like to label it in order to make it seem like it was more of a Latino criminal activity. It's all propaganda. Long story short, it's all propaganda. The whole marijuana title was basically to make it seem more, I don't know, I guess to throw shade or throw criminal intent towards the Latin community. But we're in a time now currently where people were able to see through all this shit. But the reason why I want to bring him into the picture is because he's actually the first person that fucked everything up. And he's also tied into a movie called Reefer Madness, which we're gonna get into in a little bit. But long story short, he was the first, basically the first DEA, and because he was the DEA of racist ass times, he's one of the main people who projected that whole, oh, we need to arrest all the black and Latino people who use this drug. We need to make it a Schedule 1 because if they use it, they're going to suddenly get addicted to cocaine, heroin, meth. They're going to basically lose their fucking mind and be drooling in public and biting into people's necks like some vampires and eating dead bats off the street and shit like that. Crazy shit that makes no fucking sense. And nowadays, everyone's able to see that it was all bullshit. But back then, because of the color of his skin, everyone fucking believed him and followed him because that's literally history repeating itself. That's literally how everybody got behind Hitler. I mean, if Hitler was a black man, no one in this entire fucking world would have listened to a fucking thing he said. Kind of ironic, isn't it? How one person can suddenly get millions and millions of people to kill under that person's direction, all because of the color of his fucking skin. But for decades and decades, no one in the world wants to admit that that's the only reason that he was able to brainwash and control people, because simply of the color of his fucking skin. So Harry Anslinger, Harry Anslinger, I shouldn't even be pronouncing his name right. Who gives a fuck? This racist piece of shit was literally the start of cannabis becoming a criminal product. And people my age might remember a day when you would go try to talk to a girl and she's nice enough to invite you over to meet her parents, and her parents give you this weird look as if you're not the same as everyone else that she normally brings over. And they suddenly start getting nosy into your interests, and then start also seeing what kind of music you listen to and what kind of idols you look into. And then they start to say to her, oh shit, well, he listens to hip hop, and a lot of the artists that I see him play are people who are in music videos smoking marijuana. You don't want to be around that. You want someone who's got ambitions to be a lawyer and all this fucking bullshit. And now look where we are. Fucking cannabis industry is basically making fucking billions of dollars, even though none of that fucking money has come back. It was supposed to be all tax money, but where the fuck is it? Because what we're seeing right now is just a bunch of fucking companies not doing shit. But we're going to get into that too. So like I said, Harry Anslinger basically fucked the whole cannabis industry up even before it started. He was an American government official who served as the first commissioner of the U.S. Treasury Department's Federal Bureau of Narcotics during the presidencies of Herbert Hoover, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Harry S. Truman. Like he worked through so many presidential terms. Like, think of it. A president is a president for 4 years at a time, but this nigga was the Bureau of Commission for 32 years. 32 years of basically brainwashing people into this plant that grows from the ground naturally with just water is a deadly fucking drug that's gonna rot your brain and turn you into a vampire that's eating dead rabbits off of the street. And it's gonna make you fucking rape people and all this crazy shit. This is the type of shit that they were fucking pushing on people back in the day. Reefer Madness is a movie that was made in 1936. I think one of my shirts on the front of it has propaganda like this, like one picture. But it's basically to remind people that this is the fucking the begin, or I should say the roots of the cannabis industry. And it's gonna get ironic as fuck in a minute. Reefer Madness. So Reefer Madness, fucking terrible movie. It's basically a cult classic now because it's so laughable. Reefer Madness originally made as Tell Your Children, sometimes titled The Burning Question, Dope Addict, Doped Youth, and Love Madness. It's a 1936 American exploitation film about drugs revolving around the melodramatic events that ensue when high school students are lured by pushers to try marijuana. Upon trying it, they become addicted, eventually leading them to become involved in various crimes such as hit and run accidents, manslaughter, murder, conspiracy to murder, and attempted rape. While all this is happening, they suffer hallucinations, descend into insanity, associate with organized crime, and in one character's case, commit suicide. The film was directed by Louis J. Gassner and featured a cast of mainly little known actors. What a joke. And I don't know if Anslinger is listed. I don't know if he's listed in the credits or the production, but I believe that he was a big part of this. And basically, I don't think he's listed because I believe that his organization funded it. I just don't know if that's gonna be listed here. But the reason I know this is because back on 420 years back, I saw a documentary that was talking about that. They deep dived the fuck out of it, went super into detail. But basically, he was big time behind this, which was propaganda that worked for decades. But I mean, that now that shit doesn't stand. So for those who are intelligent on cannabis, you know who this is. The reason why I'm showing her right now is because some of the people that I worked with when I worked for this piece of shit company with this fucking leaf that's supposed to be it's supposed to be art, but it's not. This shit ain't no fucking art. This bullshit. This ain't no fucking art. Anyways, so as you can see, a black woman, a heroic black woman, basically went on live TV. This was 9 years ago, so this was before cannabis was legal in our state, before it was legal in many states. She basically was a journalist on a news channel, and they were doing a story on cannabis in Alaska, which is where this news station that she was working for was. And basically, she just said or announced that she was the president of the Alaska Cannabis Club. And because cannabis wasn't legal in her state, she basically just said, fuck it, I quit on air, because she valued her cannabis job and fighting for people's rights over working at some fucking news station, possibly working at the fucking bottom. I mean, I constantly bring up the working at the bottom part because that's literally what this story is about to turn into in a sec. People who really know me, who do know my story, you already know the story. But for people that don't know, yeah, we're going to get into black people being at the bottom, because I've noticed that all the other platforms of people that I know who are supposedly trying to bring info and people or bring stuff out of the cannabis realm, nah. We need to speak on how this is another fucking industry where black people are just at the bottom. Like, this, there's no way around it. So this was 9 years ago, like I said. Since then, she had been on Vice. She'd been on, I think right after that happened, she was on Snoop Dogg's GGN News. And the rest of this shit ain't related. Yeah, and then years back, or I should say 2 years after this incident, yeah, they were trying to get her like 10 years or something like that, because I remember that, because she was someone that I would communicate with on Instagram around the time when this shit was happening. I was basically letting her know that we're riding for her. So that shit was years ago. So all that was going on, and then from there I wasn't able to pay attention too much to what was happening with her. But one thing that I can say as a good resolution to all this, because she was really going through it when they were trying to take her to court and they were trying to get her locked up for 10 years in federal prison. Yeah, she was really going through it. I remember she was going through a lot of shit. The good news is the resolution is that years later, through all that, I believe she got married, and now recently her and her husband, I think, or it might have been just her by herself, doing this, but basically she owns a cannabis dispensary that's located in Texas. The last time I tried to record this, I pulled that dispensary up and did all that and showed it, but I'm not doing that this time. I don't know anyone in Texas, but anyone who is interested in her story, I recommend typing her name into Google and YouTube, looking it all up, just seeing her progress, the route that she's had, um, and what she was able to make of it. Because, like I said, she owns a dispensary now, and on top of that, if everything's done right, she might possibly be the number one dispensary eventually in the future. Hopefully, it would be the complete opposite of this company that I'm about to talk to about. We'll get to that tab in a sec. But anyways, this specifically is the vehicle that I was talking about when I was mentioning this nigga here, the Bataram. You can't really find any footage of this vehicle being used. They literally wiped all that shit off the internet because after they had their run and fucking destroying so many black people's houses specifically, um, it was considered inhumane. Why are you doing this? This is terrible. This is I can't remember what the fuck they were saying about it, but um, long story short, if let's say the whole Los Angeles was white, this wouldn't be used in the manner that it was used in the 90s. I'm just going to leave it at that. So, another thing that I do want to bring up is that Prop 21. In 1996, California voters approved Proposition 215, the Compassionate Use Act of 1996, which exempted certain patients and their primary caregivers from criminal liability under state law for the possession and cultivation of marijuana for medical use. So I was too young to vote on this, but everybody from my generation benefited off of it because after we graduated from high school, this is what the previous generation before us voted on in order to make it so that them and us and everyone after has access to this if the right steps are taken. After I graduated high school, I was informed of this proposition and how to properly obtain a medical card. So here's the thing: if you're not from California, this might make sense, but this might not. Each state had a different path to cannabis legalization. But long story short, after me and my friends graduated high school, we were able to obtain medical cards and go to dispensaries because of this proposition. And through that, it basically is something that I can say changed a lot of people's lives. And it's also very important to take from it what we vote on might possibly be something that is able to change things for the next generation and possibly the generation before us. But long story short, what I'm trying to get across is whenever ballots do get put into play that do involve cannabis, read them really closely and know what you're voting on because sometimes that stuff might be real important. So in 2009, in 2008, I voted on this. This is real important to my story within this company because I was surrounded by a lot of fucking people who don't know shit and don't know nothing about nothing I'm about to fucking talk about. And even right now, currently, after I post this shit on YouTube, no one can hit my Instagram and say nothing. Like, I've given the people that I work with under this facility years to, I don't know, do something, say something. So then that way, it's not just me alone telling this fucking story. There would at least be someone else on Discord to be like, oh, okay, I verify that. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that was going on. Because that's what it would be a lot of. It would be a lot of, oh, shit. Damn, Zay, I didn't know that. Oh, man, the whole time when you were talking about this, I didn't know that this was going on. Oh, snap it. Oh, damn, I didn't know that you had to wear this color home the night that Nipsey Hussle got killed. Holy shit, that's crazy. There will be a lot of that. I'm going to get into that story too. So basically in 2008, when Obama was running for his first term, I believe, You basically, or there was a ballot put in front of us who voted in California. Basically, it was to, I think it was to overturn the, because I'm not about to read all this right now, but no, long story short, nonviolent drug offenses. It was, I believe, to overturn a percentage of them or something like that. I'm gonna have to go back and read this later, but that's one thing that I remember voting on in 2008. Another thing that I remember voting on in 2016 was the Prop 64, which was to legalize cannabis recreationally, basically. Wait. Yeah, because this would be, yeah, this is for making it recreational. So yeah, that's another thing we voted on. So the whole purpose after that, and after I had worked at the clothing company I was talking about, it inspired me to just say fuck all these niggas and make my own clothing company. And I brought that shit with me to when I started working for this fucking company. So the whole purpose from there was to get what I needed at this company in order to get into a place like this. You see this? This is a grow facility. This is for people who grow cannabis and want to learn more about growing cannabis, who don't give a fuck about doing retail and have no ambitions or dreams or fucking no career goals to do fucking retail. Are you kidding? The whole purpose is to end up here. It doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to realize that. Why the fuck would someone want to take a percentage of their life to stand outside of a store checking people's IDs? That sounds like an oblivious fucking idiot being in charge of making people's decisions for their life. And the oblivious idiot I'm talking about is at the end of this fucking trailer. So let's run this trailer.
Hey, you want to witness some history? Okay, back in the day, George and a few of our founding fathers had hemp farms. Yeah, a president grew his own. Look it up. It was normal. But you know what isn't normal? America's 80 years of unjust prohibition, which hasn't made us any safer. And then there's this. They came up with policies like stop and frisk, where anyone can get searched at any... All right, I'm getting a little off track, but the point is, his punishments have been harsh. Like 25 years in a prison, harsh. That's madness. Speaking of, you remember this classic bit of propaganda? Madness? How about wellness? How about everyday good people are using it to calm their pain, their stress, their anxieties? And a product that drove people to the black market is now creating a new global market. That's a lot of jobs. And the same thing that inspired the creators, the makers, and the disruptors. The symbol of counterculture is, at long last, just culture.
By the way,
it's normal again. Here's to the new normal.
Ain't no fucking... Look at this shit. They spent millions of dollars making this fucking commercial, and it was supposed to get played at the Super Bowl, and none of that shit happened. This basically was just a big ass paycheck for Jesse Williams. Shout out to Jesse Williams, by the way. I'm so glad you came to this company and got these white people to pay you for this fucking commercial that made no fucking sense to the rest of the world. They got homie barefoot, I guess, coming out the car with grocery bags. Or maybe he was at home and was barefoot and came out to help his wife. But she's also bringing home marijuana. Bro, this ain't fucking real. This is not how the world fucking works. People come to this fucking store to stand outside and complain when they get inside. That's literally it. No one enjoys the weed that they buy. All women want is the fucking bag. Everyone else wants to just throw the fucking bag on the floor and take their weed out of it. show. I don't know. I guess this is supposed to be a museum with a whole bunch of educated people looking into this fucking shit play out and not learning a single fucking thing. So homie right here who's in this shit, he had to make sure he was in it because he can't ever give a fucking opportunity to no one else. I'm glad as hell they don't show his fucking face because this was one of my managers who basically never ever in his entire fucking life learned to share. Let's see, I remember him telling me all the time that I was oblivious. But we saw who was oblivious as soon as George Floyd died and this fucking company decided, oh snap, you know what? This whole time we haven't paid attention to anyone in the entire fucking world that's black. Oh my God, police are killing people with their fucking knees? Wow, for doing nothing while they're handcuffed? Wow, that's crazy. We need to suddenly make money off this. We need to put out a statement saying that we're going to suddenly put all of our black products and carriers on the front shelf so that way we can increase profit and then pretend like we're going to give the smallest percentage that we can to the black community while we take in the other 80%. Now, homie who called me oblivious all the time, he ain't here to chime in on this. He's probably somewhere else, I don't know, working for the company that I originally wanted to work for when I came to this fucking place to get the certification I needed to leave and work in a fucking grow facility. Let's see, it seems very oblivious to me when somebody who has no experience growing cannabis starts using a fucking employee to obtain a fucking book that looks a lot like this from another worker in order to learn all your fucking cannabis growing information and then put that shit on a resume, which you have a source that can send it to whatever fucking company you want because you have all the fucking resources that you purposely took out of everyone around you's fucking hands. I mean, this is the reason why no one used to fucking like you and I'd always stick up for you and ride for you, but in the end, we've all seen you can't do a fucking thing. Your power is minimal. You sit in front like you can do shit for someone, but you can't do shit for no one. You can't do nothing for no one unless they're the same skin color as you probably. But otherwise, everyone is lower than you. I mean, you literally can look at someone's resume and put on this blank fucking face. But then when an opportunity comes, oh shit, I gotta snatch it right the fuck up. Yeah, you had to make sure that you were in the commercial only to, months later, quit the company, claim it was a piece of shit, tell everyone else they need to quit because it's a piece of shit. Fuck even helping people out before you quit and fucking take everything with you. So the store manager, I wish that it was public record. But our store manager, her name used to be written on the fucking glass of the building. But this is someone who turned her back on every single fucking employee all to go to Las Vegas and work in Las Vegas. Why come to California if you're gonna suddenly drop everything and fucking quit and go to Las Vegas? So this is another person who's also working for the company that I originally wanted to fucking work for. When I met the fucking owner of that company at our store, but because you two were in higher positions, you guys have the fucking connection to actually get there if you wanted. And that's where all that positivity shit ends. That's the reason why I fucking hate this company. Because the two managers that originally were holding the fucking ship completely crashed the shit and then fucking dipped and left everybody behind to fucking suffer without thinking anything of any consequence. What would happen with people's lives, what their futures would be. No. Did not give a fuck. The whole time I fucking worked under these two motherfuckers, I watched them fire 5 black people and hire maybe 2 black people to go to the fucking position I wanted. But those 2 were only because they were their fucking friends. And that's it. The people who really worked hard and fucking deserved just even the minimal spotlight never fucking got it. And I saw that shit every single day that I was standing outside of this fucking company. And it's to the point where I can't even skateboard no more. My fucking knee is fucked up permanently because of fucking standing outside day after day for 8 hours at a time without no fucking floor mat in the coldest section of the whole fucking city during the winter. thank God it's not public record who manage these fucking stores, because you'd be surprised as fuck. Like, how is it that a store manager can basically start dating one of the fucking workers? Coincidentally, she gets fucking let go from the company and no one else other than me knows why. I mean, it's pretty fucking obvious why, but no one knows why. Everyone's so not oblivious. It's fucking disgusting. The whole cannabis industry is literally on some fucking predatory shit. The fact that it's legal now hasn't changed a fucking thing. Everybody's out to just basically fuck everyone over. Not to get money, honestly, but they have to fuck someone over in the process. And I'm sick of seeing that shit. I've worked for 3 fucking companies back to back, and each one of them had someone that was like that. A piece of shit that can't be accepted in any fucking circle and has to trail their fucking way like a slug all the way to the cannabis industry in order to make something happen for themselves, and meanwhile fuck over everybody around them. And that's the reason why no one else is here to chime in on this shit. All my homies, as soon as I get in the cannabis industry, oh, bro, oh, yeah, man, I stopped smoking. Okay, cool. To each his own. But then these motherfuckers are fucking alcoholics. It's like, bro, are you fucking serious? And the reason I say this shit is because I'm not going to mention his name, but I've had a homie call me during the pandemic and try to persuade me that I need to be doing more. Meanwhile, I'm the only fucking... Musically, I have to do more. I have to pay people to do something to my music in order to get you to listen to it. But the fact that I've been making music non-stop for the last 20 fucking years doesn't matter at all, basically. That's how I know niggas is drunk, when they call me with that shit. Some shit that makes no fucking sense. So this is the demise of this company. This is the whole purpose of me telling that long ass story and leading up to this. This piece of shit company that I work for, where our managers basically fucking dipped and said, fuck everybody, we're out to help ourselves and our situations. This whole fucking company went under, or is going under. It's not fully under yet, but there's, I think, 2 stores left. So I saw this coming, except I thought we had another 5 years. I thought we had another 5 years till this happened, but nah, this shit fucking went down quick. These niggas fucked everything up. Oh my god. This company is so stupid and did so fucking bad. Let me tell you. So back in 2019, when cannabis became recreational, I think 5 months later, so in June, I got hired by this company. And when I first started, I saw potential. They were on the stock market, but since the U.S. couldn't put cannabis companies on the stock market, they were in Canada's stock market. But they were making progress. They had their colors, which I don't agree with. And they had all their shit mapped out and figured out, or so we thought. But ultimately, I started seeing steps that were taken that were just gonna fucking run this company into the ground. And the sad part is half of the steps that ran this company into the ground were external. It wasn't even them. So when I first started working for this company, I met a couple people. They were cool. I met one guy in particular who taught me a lot of shit. Eventually they let him go. They let 5 black people go at the same time because they were cleaning house, as they like to call it. They claimed that they were getting rid of people who had poor attendance and shit like that, but realistically, I think that they were getting rid of most of the minorities without even fucking considering what sacrifices they were making just to arrive at this place. And that's the thing I hate about corporations, because it's not like anyone's coming down to see you and talk to you or even examine the store. It's more like, paperwork dictates or this spreadsheet dictates that this action needs to be done, and we aren't going to take the time to even see if we can resolve it and save ourselves money or time trying to find new employees, and we're just going to let you fucking go. I was surprised as hell that I didn't get let go. I mean, I've been trying real hard. I'd been on time every day at that time, so I guess they couldn't let me go. But long story short, I was at this company when they first opened up this store and before it got expanded into this big building you see in this picture, because half of this building used to be a different clothing store. So I was there during the time of the construction of this entire fucking building and basically what it is now. And it disgusts me to see that all the fucking hard work I put in basically went to shit, all because of a lot of the coworkers I had and managers all just only thought about themselves. If you really look back and look at all the people who got promoted, a lot of people who got promoted at this specific store were people who didn't really have that much knowledge or information or experience on cannabis. Um, there was one girl in particular that I remember got promoted, and I was so happy for her, and she quit fucking, I think a week later or some shit. It blew my mind, and it made me realize how much I hate the fucking managers. Um, I literally went to a meeting early in the fucking morning, just to hear someone say something I never would say, which was, oh, I hate customer service. I hate talking to customers. I hate dealing with customers, or some shit along the lines of that. And I remember thinking to myself, that is our job. You can't tell the manager that you hate doing what is your job. And I remember thinking to myself, damn, if I said this shit, they would pull me into the office maybe 2 days later to make it not seem suspicious. And then they would just fire me. And then no one else would see me anymore after that. But what happened to this dude who said that shit? Nah, he got fucking promoted. Can you believe that shit? Can you believe that someone fucking took what he said and thought to themselves, damn, the best thing we can possibly do is promote him to the position that Zay's been trying to get into the whole fucking time he's been here, in order to make sure that this person doesn't quit, because he's important to us. He's important to us. He matters. He has been doing so much research on cannabis ever since the day he was born that we need him more than Zaya. We need him here. He needs to have the certifications to get into a growing facility that Zaya is trying to get into, so then that way Zaya can't get into a growing facility. When you have oblivious people as your fucking managers, this is what happens. They will literally put up an invisible wall so that you can't get somewhere, and then they'll make comments to everyone during a morning meeting such as, well, you can't get anywhere if you don't put the work in. I literally listened to my manager say that shit, and at the same time, she didn't fucking realize that the nigga that's been putting in the most fucking work inside and outside this fucking store didn't go fucking nowhere, nigga. So let's stand on that. Let's stand on the fact that this piece of shit right here completely fucked it up for everybody to go to an event that was thrown by one of the biggest cannabis companies on our coast. And I remember specifically times when him and his girlfriend, which was one of the employees for the company, would tell me each that this company that is one of the biggest companies in California fucking sucks. They would tell me this shit fucking sucks. Another person I used to work with would tell me fucking Stizzy fucking sucks. Supposedly, this company right here that's still around even after our fucking company, you would bash this fucking company all the time, claiming that it doesn't get you high. And I'm like, bro, this is when I realized that these motherfuckers don't know nothing. This nigga would tell me Curvana sucks. I have a Curvana rug on my ground. I have a Curvana like a $200 Curvana backpack in my trunk right now. Curvana is an actual fucking company. They've been around since fucking, I don't know, like way before the shit was legal. They're still around today. They're a successful company. They don't have managers who fuck the workers. They're successful. So this store didn't succeed. This shit was so bad that one of our coworkers went on Google after they had quit, I guess, and wrote a fucking review going deep into shit that was going on at the store, and I couldn't fucking believe it because half of the shit I did not know was going on in the store. Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine being somewhere every day and you see everything every day and you've been there since the beginning and you see everything every day and it turns out that everything you see is all bullshit, that all this shit is basically like the first Matrix. Like, all this shit that you're seeing in front of you is all a fucking hologram. All this shit is bullshit. It's all bullshit. Everything you see every day, bullshit. All the people that you see every day, it's all bullshit, because when you're not there, there are different interactions and actions taking place. So all this shit in front of you that you see every day for 8 hours a day, it's all bullshit. That's the reason why we keep you outside, because all of us are inside having the times of our fucking lives, and we got to make sure that you have the worst possible fucking experience you can have in life, because you want to go somewhere in this fucking industry and have been waiting and trying to get in for more than a fucking decade, just poking in, poking while this shit was illegal, just poking away trying to get out of career. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine cannabis being Schedule 1 and it's not legal in your state, and the only way to get a job to work for this specific product, I guess you could say, before it was legal, you had to go to the dirtiest, sketchiest fucking website, see who's hiring. They would ask you for 3 headshots, and you have to be, basically you have to be a woman, long story short. Before this shit became legal, you had to be a woman to get a fucking job working within cannabis, period. Otherwise, if you wanted to work in a grow facility or some shit, you had to know somebody. And to know somebody, you got to be white. So I believe that this picture right here is a picture of the same store we were just looking at, because of this palm tree right here. The reason I know this is because I used to stand in front of this palm tree almost 8 hours a day. I recognize this reflection in this window. This is this same piece of shit store. So if we look closely right there, if we can even zoom in on it, which I'm sure we can't, that's me. Yeah, look closely. That's me. So even though I stated all the shit I stated about this company and how much I fucking hate it, there's proof right there that me alone am standing outside. Ain't nobody out there, because no one gives a fuck about a nigga 1000%. And this right here is fucking proof. So anybody trying to come in here with all that, oh, be positive, blah, 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 man, fuck you. You're not there. All the bitch ass niggas that work inside this fucking facility, ain't none of them here to say nothing right now, because it's all fucking fact. Welcome to the dark side. All these motherfuckers that's in here having a fucking party, yeah, they're all friends and shit, and they all fucking like each other's shit on Instagram. Every time I do anything, no one got shit to say. Everybody wants to push that whole, oh, you're so negative. Nigga, I fucking stood out here every day thinking about, as soon as I fucking leave here, I have to go back and do shit that I was already fucking doing, which consists of pushing my fucking clothing, pushing my merch, pushing my music, growing my own weed again. Fucking, I gotta work at a grocery store again. I've gotta fucking get fruits and be able to make honey and fucking butter and garlic butter and all this shit a fucking again. All because some bitch ass niggas were put in managing positions here that are biased against people who look specifically like this. And this looks way different than everyone else that's inside. So let's go back to how this fucking store fell apart. The owners of the company both had a plan to basically get cannabis licenses so that they can be some of the first people to capitalize on this opportunity and sell legal cannabis. And they had it right when it first started, but then they fucked it all up. because they did bad investments. They brought on way too many investors. The investors were coming to our fucking store, which they turned into the flagship store. The reason why this shit was the flagship store is because of the location and because we hustled a fucking lot. We sold so much fucking weed to get this other half of this store fucking built. And after the time that I spent there, I can honestly look at everybody I work with and then say I was definitely a big part of why this fucking store became the flagship store. Because the attitudes that I was surrounded by was, oh man, this place fucking sucks. Let's all get out of here. And those same people, those same people who followed that right there, the person who said this place sucks, let's get out of here, everybody followed that person and called me negative. Now, let me point something out. The whole time I worked at this piece of shit place, I lived in the shadow of an artist and a poet and an entrepreneur. And one thing that we've seen come from me after I left this place is poetry, entrepreneurship, and art. But one thing that I don't see is any of those people who claim to be those things saying anything ever when I do those three things. So one thing we're gonna do is take a quick commercial break. I did this last time, but this cracks me up whenever I do it. So this right here is a 1 minute and 33-second song that never got released, but it's about the cannabis industry. A lot of the shit that I just explained is in here. The Midas touch. Bring back the golden era. They told us to bring back the golden era. Distribution and plotting to sell. Although it helped, all my mentors are rotting in cells. Everything is pre-packaged now, there ain't no bottles to smell. They caught someone from last week's robbery, they got him to tell. All the tax money must have been dropped in a well, because all I've seen built is a fucking stadium. All my niggas are group plants, DEA rated them. Every anslinger aided them, because deep down we led the way, that's why he hated them. And you know Snoop and Dre always kept the chronic strong. I think I'm about to blow up like an atomic bomb. Now you need a license to sell. Whoever scheduled one this plant through all our lives into hell. When they decided our retirement failed, saying goodbye to your child's eyes from a jail. So 5 years later our oppressors can keep us at the bottom while their life's going well. You know it's wacky, they tried to kill us before. When they sold tobacco, they locked up all the lokes and khakis. Police kill us, now all they souls is happy. Stoic rapping and true stories, how come no one's laughing? How come no one's laughing? How come no one's laughing? I came in to smoke on the royal, it'll make you choke, it's always potent, you spoil it. I've shown you what I can grow from the soil, turn the trichomes of some oil, or I can make a bottle of honey will boil in grams measured on scales. Your branch is light as a feather and frail, feminized plant, your yield is a definite male. You claim it's better, it's stale. They locked niggas up and never sent a letter through mail. Now they chalk niggas up and treat them like they'll never get it, they failed. Tonight you need to check who benefits off this medicine sales. After you do that, why don't you check who'll be setting the bails? Shout outs to Kim Mac for the beat. So I don't even think he realized it, but that song is, the lyrics in it are real deep and have to do with the history of cannabis. Like everything, this whole fucking story I just told you, this long ass story, that was basically me trying to minimize all that shit in a 1 minute and 30 seconds. Like this, all this shit that I'm saying, this is real shit. This is literally how the fuck it goes down. Anybody that's from the hood, I fucking recommend you come over to this fucking, just come over to the fucking beach. This is the commute I used to make to come to this piece of shit every day. I would basically come from around here and travel, let's see, basically go up this way, hit the 90, and then I would have to get up in here somewhere. Abt Canyon, yep, I'd have to get up in here, and that shit is a fucking bitch. Just this small section right here. Hold up, let me find it. I would say just getting from here. Yeah, like just getting from here to about here would take a fucking minute after in the afternoon or after 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. That little drive right there, that 5 minute, not even 5 minutes. That shit is a 2 minute drive. But there's so many cars that that shit took me 15 minutes. A 2 minute a 2 minute drive extended into 15 or 20 minutes from fucking traffic jam. And of course, since no one wanted to work there, no one was coming to work, so I had to fucking work all the fucking time. Like I even kicked it with the with one of the people. We went to a concert, and I think he was quitting. Like he was quitting. He was gone in maybe 3 days, and he's telling me, "I'm gonna call out tomorrow. Don't tell no one." It's like, bro, it don't even fucking matter. Like why am I still going to work? I remember asking myself that too. Why am I the one who is leaving this place with nothing? I don't have no fucking friends. We got niggas I fucking work with linking up with my friends to fucking have them promote their shit. Like, bro, it's fucking weird. Like, I don't have no friends here, and people from here are linking up with my friends to promote their products and shit. And I'm like, yo, like, this whole shit is just weird. It's some weird shit. I would not see these people otherwise. Like, these people don't want nothing to do with me. Like, they like, anytime niggas stand up for something, they are not there. Like, they're on the other side. Why is anybody linking up with people I know? I don't see anyone linking up with other people from here. Like, no one's linking up with the friends of anyone from here. Like, it's only with me. And it makes no fucking sense whatsoever. But this is the world. This is the cannabis industry. Look at this shit. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Someone make sense of this shit. What the fuck is this? A product that sells itself. A product that sells itself. A company that's worth millions has no problem finding locations closest to the beach, has no problem finding female employees. How are you not able to sell cannabis? Like, I don't get it. Like, this graph that you see in front of you, this isn't just for this company. This is literally any fucking cannabis company. Like, all of them are all in the red like this. Like, they're not making no fucking money off of a product that sells itself. It's absolutely fucking crazy. So when I first started, I think they were up here. Like they were going up, and then ever since then, they've just made dumb ass decisions that brought them all the way fucking down to nothing. So in 2020, after that whole George Floyd situation happened, they put out a statement basically trying to claim that they were going to suddenly put their black brands on the front of the shelves, but they don't have any black brands from what I remember. And then this shit just kept going downhill. I mean, that's what the fuck happens. Like, you can just see this shit happening because no one around you wants to listen to anything. Everybody just wants their free samples and their tips and this and that. But we've got to sell good product. None of these companies ever fucking released prisoners. I mean, to be honest, once this shit became legal, it should have been automatic that everybody whose paperwork listed that they are there because of a cannabis related offense should just automatically be fucking released. And listed as the first people who get jobs at these places, because I'm so sick of working with the average cannabis user. Y'all are some fucking weirdos, some of you. Like, y'all don't want to shave, y'all don't want to take a bath, y'all don't want to fucking do this. You just want to just look like cannabis users in fucking 1996 and shit. Like, bro, what the fuck? So in 2019, these four, this place wasn't this place wasn't open, and this place wasn't open, because what people don't know is that Crenshaw is the cannabis strip now. This place wasn't open, I don't think. Maybe this company was around. This company was around, but they didn't have a store at that time over there, and this place wasn't there. So the purpose of me bringing that up is because in 2019, for Gorilla at least, let's see, hold up, let me go back to that map. So Gorilla Wellness, this is a really important cannabis company. They are very, very, very important to our neighborhood. We're gonna leave it at that picture right there. So in 2019, a bunch of shit was going on, and we're gonna get into all of it. So first off, Gorilla RX, which I just had listed, I remember, and I might have this wrong, but I think I remember around that time. Oh yeah, by the way, 2019. So I already started seeing that there's a lot of bad shit going on with this company I'm working for, which is this piece of shit company. There's a lot of stuff going on. There was one day when I came in and basically everything was taken off the shelf. I believe it is a day when the state changed the laws on the packaging. So basically everything that was on the shelves that we sold had to be removed and sent back to their companies so that the companies could redo the packaging of each product and send that shit back. And this was within a short period of time that they got these new standards, and a lot of fucking companies disappeared whenever this shit happened. And to me now, still, it looks real suspicious. I don't think any of these companies were told ahead of time, hey, we need you to change your packaging because of these qualifications in case if it ends up in the street or kids get a hand hold of it, whatever, we need you to change this, blah, blah, blah. I don't think they told any of these companies that. I think they just got an email from the bureau or some shit like, hey, like, you're receiving all your shit back, and if you want to put it back on the shelves, we need the packagings to match these qualifications by this date. So I saw a lot of the brands that I had been buying ever since I had just started working for that company a month earlier all disappear. I had just found like 3 strains that I was just about to just start buying with all my tips and all that shit. All those fucking brands disappeared, and I couldn't believe it. And that is what started what you see currently right now whenever you go to a cannabis store. This is what you see when you go to a cannabis store in California, specifically on the west side where I'm at. The same brands as the last place you just went to. One of the store's brands, most likely flower or pre-rolls, if available. And more of the same brands that are seen at every single cannabis store around us. So the reason for that, like I said, is because of that whole packaging shit. That packaging change shit fucked everything up. And then after that, they made it so that variety packs don't exist anymore. When was the last time you got a pack of pre-rolls where each of them was a different strain? It's been a long time. And the reason for that is because in order for them to do that now, on the packaging, they have to have a long ass label that lists all the statistics of the THC and CBD of each strain and its terpenes and all that shit. And that label is going to be way too long to fit on the back of that packaging. No, they can't do those no more. Now everything is bland and gray and fucking boring. And because of that, I have to go back to growing my own weed in my backyard again, which is what I was fucking doing before I entered this piece of shit fucking company. I'm taking this goddamn jacket off. Imagine that. Imagine you spend all this time working in this fucking industry all to just have to go back to doing what you were doing fucking before. So in 2019, shit was weird because I remember seeing a building which I thought was this building possibly, which was eventually going to be a cannabis dispensary, but it was empty. Like nothing was going on with it for a while. And like I said, I might be wrong. That building I'm thinking of might not have been Gorilla, but long story short, there were no legal cannabis dispensaries in my neighborhood at this time when I was working at that piece of shit company, because honestly, if any of them were available, that's where I would be rather than working for those people. And here's why I say this. In 2019, I was looking for a place like this that you see on the screen so that I could work there and not have to travel that much, not be stuck in traffic. Like I just mentioned, that fucking traffic I was stuck in every fucking day, that goddamn sacrifice. It just wouldn't happen. I would be able to fucking walk to work. I live near a fucking train station that would take me to a place like this. I wouldn't even have to drive. My alignment on my tires would still be fine. But no. Invisible wall got put up over there where I fucking worked at. So in 2019, the battle was just beginning as the DCR continued to move forward with the licensing process. Despite the urging of council city president Weston to suspend the process, the interest of big business once again was being prioritized. The interest of big business. I think we know exactly what they're talking about. That fucking jacket I was just wearing represents the company that tried to be big business. This shit right here, a fucking collector's item that no one in the world has a copy of anymore. This fucking magazine that they used to push, and I used to always take these home because I knew this day was coming. Oh man. So as you see on the front, I believe this is the first page. This is that very company that my manager and his chick tried to convince me was a terrible company, even though they're doing fucking swell. Because their fucking stock isn't a red bar that just goes straight down into the fucking ground. But yeah, I mean, this wasn't really that bad of a magazine. It seemed like a bunch of rich people made it. And they even have fucking maps of what states are going to become legal. And it seems like they're so interested in cannabis. But, I mean, all these cannabis medias, it's the same shit all the time. It's a bunch of what it's basically highlights of a whole bunch of different cultures all photographed together, and then the companies that have the most money are going to be put with the most spotlight, basically, or the people with the most money. So in 2019, in efforts to build a coalition of community members, LDG worked with Empowerment Congress, West Neighborhoods Council's Cannabis Committee to broaden its community engagement and began outreach to SLANC, representing the 15 neighborhood councils in South Los Angeles, hardest hit by the cannabis arrests. On November 21st, SLANC board members voted unanimously to start a cannabis committee representing all 15 neighborhood councils. As city officials passed the buck on how it would remedy the failed application process, the mayor ordered a third-party audit, but the city council failed to make a motion to address the community's outrage and DCR's misconduct. Without any proper communication or resolution from the city, community members organized to confront the mayor in public. on the lawn of City Hall to demand action. Questions about Los Angeles cannabis social equity process had been significant enough to halt licensor, as the mayor ordered the city's DCR not to issue the first 100 social equity licenses or open a second application round until the audit is complete. So, long story short, I'm gonna summarize a little bit of what happened to them. There was basically a fucking wall put up. Like I mentioned, invisible walls earlier. A lot of them aren't invisible, but I say invisible walls because they're invisible to most people. But there was a wall put up that basically stopped them specifically from being able to go forward with the property that they had purchased to build this dispensary. So I can't remember exactly which organization stopped them, but I recommend anyone who has time going directly to their website. It's under Our Journey. This company is owned by a mother and daughter, a black mother and daughter, because this company is black owned. Very, very nice people. I've met the daughter. They have a very interesting journey. I've listened to the journey of that company that I previously mentioned that I work for. They had a interesting idea, but they had a different kind of journey. But them, however, their journey is legit. Gorilla RX, I support them. They're, for one, I have to say it's not easy for black women at all in this world, and I'm sure it's a lot harder for black women in the cannabis industry. But these two, mother and daughter, have a really strong foundation, and because of that, they are also going to always have a really strong fan base, and they're really well they're really well thought out decisions on everything they do. Because if you go to the store, just visually seeing its layout is historic, because for one, being crafted on Crenshaw, like it says, that itself is a historic area. And this cannabis store is, in my opinion, a flagship of the community, because it's basically a forefront of culture, art, music, media, movies. You feel all time periods of black history in there when you go in there, but at the same time, even though there's no plants in there, it kind of feels like you're in a garden. It's a very interesting vibe. Everybody in the city needs to go there at least once, even if you don't use cannabis. Go down there and get some topicals to rub on your back whenever your back muscles and shit are like hurting. Cause I have some of that in my bathroom right now, because I needed to get some recently. But yeah, just go down there. This is Stalker Street, I think, because this is next to Kenneth Hahn. This is a street that'll take you over there. But yeah. So the whole purpose of me bringing all that up is because, like I said, there was a wall put up that basically stopped them from being able to build this store. This is a crazy looking store when you get inside. Like this is, they got everything that store that I mentioned earlier doesn't fucking have, and that's the reason why they're gonna have a great journey. Like the whole time I was working at that store I mentioned, I was thinking of a place like this. I was like, yo, there has to be a fucking place that has like all the shit that you need and like just looks different and isn't relying on wooden fucking tables with iPads. So as you can see, like this right here, like this is art. Like even the people that come there, like everybody is like, it's just different. Like this whole setup is ill. Like I love just seeing even just pictures of how this store looks. Like this is really what it's about. This is a representation of our history within cannabis. This is literally what all the fucking dispensaries would look like if they did the three things I think if they did the three things that they didn't do that fucked up this whole industry, which are inclusion of black people, inclusion of the first licenses being given to black people who were in some way faulted for sales or use or cultivation of cannabis, and workers who were faulted for actions involving cannabis being put first on job applications. Because it's like, when I was at that piece of shit company I mentioned, I tried to get, I think, 3 people in total jobs. I tried to get One of my homies the job who happened to live in that city. He has kids, he's got mouths to feed. It would be real convenient if he could quit the job he was currently working at to have a shorter commute and also work with a homie who not just has a 4 foot in the front door, but can give him all the information he needs outside of work within one day and basically make it easier for him. I tried to get a job for my ex-girlfriend at a different location. Let me go back to my homie. He told me that his application was rejected, and at first I didn't believe it because we needed people so bad. My manager would tell me too, if you know anyone that wants to work, have him send an application. I took down the information or email that I needed him to send the shit to, gave it all in. Did that make a difference? No. His application got rejected. By the time I met up with him and he told me, it didn't make sense to me. I thought maybe he got the message wrong or some shit. So I told my managers again, hey, I have a friend who's gonna send in an application, blah blah blah. Oh, okay. Still never saw him arrive there, and I realized something was up. I tried to get my ex-girlfriend a job there. I tried to give her the information to apply at the other store, which was, I think, a minute away, but still in Venice. And she didn't get hired. At first, I thought it was because she wasn't a cannabis user, but I gave her a lot of information. And then later, I realized that this company just don't like black people. I tried to get my friend interested in working there too. When I found out that her dispensary had got shut down, but she rejected it, and I understand why, because she was at a higher position and didn't want to start over again. And then to me it would make more sense because of the commute, because I think for her it would be a further commute. But the fact that she started working with one of my coworkers, it still made no sense to me. I mean, because I remember, or I at least wish you would have seen how things were if you tried to apply and get a job there. Maybe that photo that I showed of me just being by myself in front of the fucking store wouldn't have been a thing. But the fact that it's a fact is just baffling to me. But long story short, no one wants to work for that fucking company. It's a piece of fucking shit. And it's because there were times when I tried to send out a fucking kite and they fucked it up every single fucking time. Like my homie who I tried to get a job for, like, he's the one who showed me how to grow bud. Like, why the fuck doesn't he qualify? This store is a piece of shit anyways. Both of our managers fucking quit. They both said it before they quit. They both left and fucking went to fucking Vegas and wherever the fuck else. So for those that do know, in 2019, Crenshaw lost one of our legends. I believe in March 2019, one of the saddest days. And I remember it like this. I remember being at this piece of shit store and being somewhere near the front of the store, and someone had alerted me that they read on social media that there was a shooting outside of the Marathon store. And I remember thinking to myself, oh shit, what the fuck? And then in my head, I remember thinking too, right before I worked for this company, right before I started reapplying at dispensaries, I remember taking a second and thinking to myself, like, dang, I wonder if I should try to apply over there at Marathon store. It's since there is no cannabis stores near me. This was around the time when I was seeing the building that I thought would end up being Gorilla RX, basically up but not furnished yet. I remember thinking, damn, maybe I probably should try to go to a clothing store and try to absorb some knowledge and learn what I can. But then at the same time, I'm like, for Nipsey's store, I am sure that there are plenty of people staffed there and working there, and it's taken care of. And at the same time, I don't want to seem like I'm just trying to come down there just to be around Nip. Like, I know there's a lot of people who probably were at the time trying to do that and weren't really working. If I'm working for Nip, I'm trying to work. I'm trying to help the company. I'm trying to help not just the company, but the legacy, the future. it's not just his store. His brother owns it too. It would be I'm working towards getting everybody, the team, further, I guess, possibly open up different locations and stuff like that. These are all things that were just going through my head, but at the same time, I was like, I'm sure that there's enough people that are there that probably got that down pack and taken care of that and got that covered. So these are things that kind of weighed heavy on me when I found out of his demise, because it originally started with someone basically telling me that there was a shooting at his store, and then a couple minutes later, she came back and told me that he got shot, and then I was like, oh damn. But at the time when I was told that, it was like most likely a bullet just grazed him, and then I think we were both under the impression that an altercation happened there that he probably had nothing to do with and probably tried to stop, and somehow in the process got grazed by a bullet. But minutes after that, she came back and told me what had actually happened, which was his demise, and was sad. But I remember that night, because I was at work this day and I was real frustrated because this day I didn't bring a fucking jacket. I had to Uber home in that red hoodie that I have in this fucking picture. And this was the worst day to come home in that hoodie. And the reason I had to Uber is because my 95 Cadillac, I think the transmission had went out at this time, or yeah, I think it was, no, it hadn't gone out yet, but it was going out. And at the time, I didn't know it was the fucking transmission that was going out. So basically, I had been Ubering back and forth from home to fucking that piece of shit place. And that's another thing that no one who worked there with me ever took into account. That I had to fucking Uber there almost every day because my car was fucked up. So having to come home in an Uber on the day that Nipsey lost his life was different, because I think on my street is, or no, I take that back. The My street is the last street before the traffic cones started. So I remember it just being a big traffic jam a block or two before my house, or before my street, I should say. And I remember it just feeling like I was in a movie because everything was different. There were police everywhere. I think they had pulled over some people on my street too. Like it just looked like a different scene. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, because at the time it wasn't released yet that Eric Holder was the suspect. I remember at the time it was unknown to me. I think the people that were closest to him might have already known, because I think someone at the store might have saw and probably passed the word, but that shit didn't get to me. I was just an oblivious person riding in the back of an Uber home to come home to basically one of our community foundations just disappeared. And it was tragic. That shit changed everybody. There hasn't been an energy in the West Coast for a really long time because of that shit. That shit destroyed everybody's spirit. And that's the thing that a lot of people who worked here didn't understand either. Like, a lot of people who worked here were just so tunnel vision. Like, you don't see nothing that's going on in the city. Like, why are you even here? Like, the reason why I'm bringing all this shit up is because 90% of the people that I work with here aren't even fucking from here. Like, a lot of these people are just drifters from like different states. Like, no one is from here. Like, even the people that are planning on staying here don't want to be around people that are from here, and those are the people that get got. Like, if you bruh, like, we're in Gotham City. People who, I feel like all the people who get their tires slashed, or all the people who get fucking robbed, lots of times are people who just aren't, like, I don't know, y'all just don't, like, I feel like a lot of people just set themselves up. Like, I saw a lot of shit when I worked here. Like, I started seeing a lot of types of people, and I saw a lot of types of people that I can't be around. it's like if I kick it with y'all, like we're all gonna get fucking robbed over some fucking stupid decision that you made that everybody had to be in because we're all in your vehicle for some reason. So these are things that happened in 2019. This is another one. If anyone remembers the vape scare, the vape scare that basically made it so that every day I was at fucking work, people were asking me, are the vapes safe? It's because of this person right here. Now, I always bring up skin color because it, of course, plays a part in this story too. Because if a black man tried to do this shit that this person did,
vaping scene, learning all about the industry and scoping out opportunities for him to capitalize on. He eventually found one and in early 2018 started his own health supplements company called CB. Now wait, health supplements? Now don't get me wrong, there are benefits to smoking pot,
Shoutouts to
but
this dude,
it's
by the
no
way.
health supplement. Well, the product that Josh created technically was a health supplement, and it's the same product that would eventually contribute to his company's meteoric rise and horrific downfall. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Honeycut Diluting Agent, Josh's flagship product from his company. This was essentially liquid gold to him and the millions of customers he sold it to. Customers who were black market dealers. In simple terms, this product was a cutting agent that you could add to homemade THC cards to not only make them look legit, but also to use less pure THC oil. It had no taste, no smell, and had the exact same look and consistency.
Listen to this shit. So basically, whenever this went down, a whole bunch of people just started dropping like flies, and people could not figure out what the fuck was going on. And shout outs to this dude, by the way. This is BC Productions. I recommend checking out this video. Yeah, like watch this whole video. He'll break it all down. But long story short, doctors had to question the few people that were in the hospital that didn't die to figure out what they all have in common, that they were all using cannabis carts. Some of them were in different states, but they were able to trace it to them all coming from companies that were all purchasing this
Consistency as THC oil. It also passed something called the bubble test, which is a common way to tell if your cart is boof or not. In the past, most fake carts were cut with things like propylene glycol, making carts look runny and less pure because the bubble in the cart would move.
So here's the thing. And the whole time I worked at this company, or worked within these companies I have worked at, I do get these. And basically this company right here, they were at this time came forward and basically said that a lot of people would take their packaging and sell fake. They would take the casings and refill them with that shit, and they would put it in like a different box that they found on the ground. They would just fix it up, or they would just make a different box, and then they would just resell the shit. So that company now, they have barcodes that you scan, or QR codes that you can scan to make sure that it's actually a real cartridge that came from them. But the cool thing is that company specifically, they have a store in DTLA now. So that goes to show that this company doesn't suck. To the person, the poet who used to tell me this company sucked because it didn't get them high, this product works. That's how they were able to build a fucking store that was double the size of ours, and still currently has employees working for that company, and is bigger than they've ever been because they keep opening up stores in different states that aren't fucking falling like our company did
when tilted. But Josh's new product didn't change the viscosity of the liquid at all, making the bubbles stand still, which in turn convinced users they were smoking pure distillate. Now, there was one secret with Josh's revolutionary offering. It was mostly made of vitamin E acetate. And by most, I mean 95% of it. Over his years in the industry, Josh discovered that vitamin E.
Yeah, so vitamin E is basically what he was using as diluting agent, and he was mass selling that shit. That's how everybody got sick and people were fucking dying. It's because so many of these fucking boof ass companies were buying that shit to cut it, because it's fucking cut. That's what always happens. So this dude found a way to make billions of dollars off of selling fucking cartridge like, so everybody who's a brick pusher. All my East Coast homies, fucking North Side California too. Everybody who pushes bricks. Imagine these cannabis cartridges that are sold in, I think this is before, most of his sales, I think, came from companies before it was legal in California. So if you can imagine making a cut that let's see, imagine if you sold cut, basically a cut that all the people in your neighborhood who push bricks were gonna get. Like, all them need this cut, and because you're not selling product, you're not stepping on no one's toes, no one's going after you, nothing. Like you sell cut, all these people need your cut, they're gonna pay you up front. And because of that shit, the word spreads all across the country. Now all of a sudden you're selling fucking tons of this shit, and it's all free game because you're the only one doing it. You fucking patented the formula. Any other company that tries to do the same shit isn't being bought because you're the only one with that stamp, basically. I recommend people watch this whole video. Like, watch this whole video. It's fucking crazy. But long story short, because he was basically just selling cut, I believe he got away with this. Even though people died, all that shit fell on the companies that bought his cut. So he's scot-free. This nigga is selling crypto in fucking Hawaii right now or some shit. Possibly. He just sold cut, but because his cut was made with this product and this product eventually killed people, he had no knowledge of that being the end result, I guess, and is able to pretty much get away with it. So Metric, this is a cannabis compliance tracking system and software. It's basically used in all cannabis stores to measure cannabis, but it is a software. But as you can see, these are basically like warehouse workers and stuff. But it's a track and trace technology. I don't think it started in cannabis. Like, it's something that I think they use like on shipping containers and this and that. So it's something that's been around. But the department that I was trying to get into, they use this, and because of that, you have to get into that department to get this use to go on your resume, and then from there you're able to work in growing facilities, because every growing facility that I've ever tried to apply it at asks that you have that. And one of the people I work with, who happened to be fucking the shit out of our manager, would always try to tell me this positive shit, like, oh yeah, you can definitely do it, you can get in there, you have the knowledge and this and that, blah blah, you don't need Metric. And meanwhile, she's sucking our manager's dick, not realizing that this is the motherfucker who is in charge of fucking putting people where the fuck they are. You stupid bitch. You're gonna tell a nigga he needs to read more, not realizing that black people weren't even allowed to read or write back in the days when we were getting whooped by people who aren't this skin color. So why the fuck are you listening to someone who's not this fucking skin color, who's in fucking charge of making shit go down, and you see this nigga's not making shit go down, and you're over here sucking his fucking dick? Bruh. I mean, the littlest he could have fucking did was put me in a fucking position to get this experience, so that way it can go on my fucking resume and I'd be at the fucking company that he's currently at right now. But the whole purpose of me not being at that fucking company right now is so that he could fucking tell people out his fucking teeth that he has been growing cannabis for fucking years and has all this experience and shit, and he's the number one person who needs to be there, and fuck everybody else. Fuck helping anybody. That's basically y'all two's fucking motive. Just fuck everybody else. Don't help nobody. Fuck them. We can drift. We'll drift to a different state. Fuck it. Man, that shit makes no sense. So long story short, black people, I recommend that we take a closer look into who's working at these cannabis stores. And then after that, I recommend that we go and we support these four, starting with these four right here. Free the Trappers, a black-owned cannabis store, Gorilla RX, a black woman-owned cannabis store, which is next to Taco Bell. I recommend stopping by there too, getting you a couple asada tacos, maybe the asada burrito bowl. That shit is fire. And then I recommend California Cannabis Crenshaw. It is a black woman-owned store, or company, I should say, because they have a couple stores. And then the Cure on Crenshaw. This is the fucking mecca. Everybody has to visit here at least once, because this is the biggest store. Let me think about it. I think this is the biggest store I've been to. Like, this store is so fucking big. Like, even right now at almost 3, like it's busier than usual. And today's just Monday. Like, this store is crazy. There should be no negative reviews. Like, they've got, yeah, the last time I went there, they had Marathon. This must be a new review. 2 months ago, yeah. So when I went there a couple of days ago, they had some Marathon, like actual Marathon, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, yo, this shit right here. So the reason why I recommend these stores is because they're all in Nipseyville. Like I said, Nipsey was very, very, very important around here. I gotta touch up on him a little bit more in a different episode. But one thing I do want to do is I want to play one more song, and I do mention him in this song, but the thing is, this song didn't come out, so when I do mention him, I don't want anyone to like take it the wrong way or think there's any disrespect towards him at all, because there isn't. Is basically me stating that I had to ride home in this piece of shit company's fucking clothes and colors on the night that he was taken from us. Like, nothing made me more mad than that shit. Like, I was so fucking mad. Like, I'm still mad just thinking about the shit. But I'm gonna run this song. This song is kind of long. It's almost 5 minutes. And this song is for Nipseyville. This song is for the whole area.
Today I voted on a proposition. Hopefully someday we'll give a career, because right now it's illegal. There's no colored people in here. Reagan made the war on drugs to put the people in fear. Women dominate this market, homie, I've seen it for years. When I finally got in, I saw some shit that was seeming as weird. I'ma put it in the song that I need you to hear. I haven't wrote some shit that cut this deep in some years. If you can't stand it, it's that hard. Me and my niggas grew plants in our backyards. Used to dry it, then smoking and laugh hard. Getting higher than these Emma Smokey, riding in a black car. I don't even think the math's hard. I'ma take you all the way to the back of the cannabis industry bus where the blacks are. I carry this chip on my shoulder, now my shoulders are dented. And one day, 3 black people let go over a tenant's been processing it for years, didn't know when to pen it. One of them showed me the ropes. If he wasn't black, I know you'd forget him. He was sent to change my life, and you would know if you met him. The type of guy who really would ride. The shit killed me inside. One of the bosses that filled him with pride, tricking bitches with the silliest lies, really disguised. These snow bunnies don't know shit, and they won't even listen, telling you to be positive because they don't have a homie in prison. If you came from the illegal side, I'm sure that you would doubt us. Shit got so bad, someone wrote a review about us. So many issues, they rush to the surface. Bosses fucking the workers, Caucasian women promoted and doing nothing on purpose. How the fuck does a 21-year-old from Kansas get further than a nigga from Cali who smoked from NorCal, brimming the valley down to the blue dream brick in my alley? I needed to learn metrics so I could grow for cookies, but that dream was sabotaged and instead sold to rookies. Oh whoops, my pen died. I applied for the job more than 10 times. My friend lied, she told me I would arrive based on my skill. Without metric, they wouldn't even see me face to face if I'm real. I almost got sprayed encased in some steel. The night that Nipsey died, I had to get it right.
Without metric, they won't see me face to face if I'm real. Wait, hold up.
Sold the rookies. Oh whoops, my pen died. I applied for the job more than 10 times. My friend lied, she told me I would arrive based on my skill. Without metric, they wouldn't even see me face to face if I'm real. I almost got...
Nigga, like I told you, the fucking lyrics are deep. Like, people don't understand. Like, all this shit is fucking real. Like, without metric, they won't see me face to face if I'm real. Meaning that without metric, they won't fucking hire me, you stupid fucking bitch. I fucking told you. Dog, I fucking told you. This stupid bitch tried to fucking tag me and my fucking brand in some Instagram story, basically trying to make it seem like I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing or some shit. bro, I have a fucking company. Don't ever in your fucking life tag me in some fucking negative ass shit just because you feel some type of way over some shit that someone said or some fucking song. If you're not from LA, do not tag LA niggas in some fucking bullshit. That's the fucking reason why I do these fucking Biohazard RXs all the time. You told me I need to read more. You stupid bitch. You didn't fucking realize that niggas weren't even fucking allowed to read or write back in the day. And that's literally the entire fucking reason why I make music, you stupid fucking dick sucking fucking bitch. Fake ass feminist, wannabe fucking compassionate as soon as a nigga fucking dies, but then every day in front of your face is a fucking black man that you can't do nothing for except borrow fucking money and ask for favors, you stupid worthless fucking bitch. When I first met you, you used to have a vehicle. The last day that I saw you, you didn't have shit. All you had was a fucking boss taking care of you. And when I say boss, I don't mean an actual boss. I mean someone that you work under. Sis, the first day I fucking met you, you passed by our store. You came, you met me. You talked to me for a second. I encourage you to get into this fucking store. They have to hire you because this is a piece of shit that just fired a bunch of fucking people. You got in. I was so fucking happy. I was so happy to work with you. And then next thing you know, a review comes out for our store from someone who used to work with us, basically stating that you are with our fucking boss. And I'm thinking to myself, nah, that can't be true. This girl's a feminist. She would never fucking work under someone and then be with them. But of course, we all know that's exactly what happened. You're so fucking lucky I'm not gonna say her name.
Sprayed encasing some steel. The night that Nipsey died, I had to get a ride home in a red hoodie. Lying bitch told me she was there for me, but on this night she had a colonizer at her house. She act like she cared for me. I'm black, I'ma keep it a buck. That shit is rare for me, so fuck you and their story. I gave you a fair warning, I'm from the era of pimping bitches and selling crack with a pager. Bitch, don't you ever ask a black man for a favor. If your ass can't do flash dance for some paper, then you must need your brain CAT scan with a laser. People are so quick to say fuck LA, like they not feeling our shit. When LA niggas show up, then they stealing our shit. This is as real as it gets. Fuck all presentations, I'm walking out. Schedule 1 drug becomes medication overnight, that's how they locked us out. We hustle when the cops was out, 420 every day and cross the route. I never thought I'd witness you take a nigga and cross him out and make the snakes and slither bosses now. I represent African American Los Angeles stoners, while all you pose around me is shirt designers and cannabis growers. The wrath of a soldier shown when I crafted the posters. I won't ever rap for you vultures in the old days. If you wasn't strapped, you could get clapped and they put the ratchet back in the holster. Every day I see you attacking our culture, killing our rhinos, killing our lions with the same gats as the poachers. The maximum dosage lets a passenger smoke it. I'm too savage to quote. I'm slashing a goat from the front to the back of his throat. No handle because I actually broke it. I don't rap to be noticed because my master is Otis, showing the faster results after we sold it. King Midas, the mic turns to gold after I hold it. Y'all jokers, I'm an ace. Now I see exactly why you can't be in my circle. We breathe in their purple demons that hurt you after seeing the leadings of Virgil. Rest in peace, I'm about to bless this beat. It's 1UP Records, from my head to feet. I'ma expose everyone who copied as soon as they check receipts. My species getting murdered and rise while I try to bring us up. Our own brothers throwing dirt on our pride. I'll be continuing the marathon where you heard our side. Nipsey Hussle showed us how to decode the words and the lies. I was putting words in the skies, a real hustler, but I'ma dress like a nerd till I die. On my Jay-Z shit, I'm watching y'all team up while I stand alone and I lay these bricks. How you giving advice if you ain't got $1? That shit makes me sick. Niggas earn a couple thousand and start taking trips. End up broke as fuck, now they gotta babysit. And without child support, they will take that whip. Fresh paint on the package, bitch, I'ma make that drip. I'ma add it to the website, then I'ma make that flip. And as far as collaborations, I'm straight, that's it. Niggas bite and take food off of my plate, that's it. And count on your business partners when choosing a mate, that's it. Come around and pretend to support that snake ass shit. If you capped in a message you sent, I didn't erase that shit. I'm not on the podcast because my point of view is too real for you to face that shit. Y'all niggas is jokers, I'ma ace that shit. Your prophet ain't no king neither. The way I'll groom the workers looking like some ringleaders. The fakest purpose is when the snakes and vultures are supposed to leave, but they'd rather date the workers and take your service. Half of them won't even make a purchase. With all your success, I would have thought my fate was worthless, but everyone around you copy me. Now every time I create it makes me nervous. This is about to be one of my favorite verses. King Midas, everything I touch turns to gold. Killmonger, liberate our people with it till it burns your souls.
And once again, I wipe my hands clean of this whole fucking shit here. This is the whole reason I fucking waited so long to make this episode. I basically just wanted to state everything and leave it at that. Ain't no one asking me shit ever about this. I laid everything out, and there's one more fucking thing I'm about to mention too before I get up out of here. I'm just gonna see if I can fucking find it. I should be able to just pull this shit up. So this is another fucking dispensary I work for, and I'm basically seeing them make the same fucking mistakes as the company with the red that I just talked about. One of the first fucking mistakes that they made was not ever come into the fucking store to check up on the store manager, because the store manager is the fucking reason why everybody leaves this place. As you can see, there's days when they don't, or there's times when they don't have nobody coming up in there, and that shit is not being filled whatsoever. And this is a place that's fucking right across from a fucking landmark. They have all the fucking everything on their side basically. But this is a place that doesn't even know the basics, because this place has a fucking manager that will get on the fucking microphone to tell you and everybody in that motherfucker to have you go do something random, just fucking random, as soon as she sees you helping a fucking customer that's interested in talking to you. Can you imagine that shit? Someone's interested in talking to you, and someone who's in a different fucking room happens to get even just a second of sight through a fucking computer screen that someone is actually talking to you to get information on a product. And this person takes it upon themselves to make sure that everybody in the whole fucking building knows that you're talking to this person, and that you suddenly out of nowhere need to go do a completely different task that was just quickly made up, that has nothing to do with anything, just to get you to stop talking to this person who just came in and started talking to you. Can you imagine that? Someone, and this person that came in to talk to you is someone that you help every time they come in. So this is not new. This is you helping this person is not new. You're giving this person customer service, which is what you were taught is number one. But suddenly the manager decides, no, we need to have someone else give that person customer service. Can you think about this? Imagine you're a customer. You come into a store. The person that helps you all the time, that you love being helped by, is there. You're talking to them, and they're giving you information on something new that they have that is going to save you possibly $15. But in the middle of that, it's expected that that person is supposed to go do something else, and then some new guy is going to come and stand in front of you, and you have to start the whole conversation over to get to some information that's not even there because that new person doesn't have it. How pissed off would you be? You would probably never ever come back and shop there again, right? So that's the explanation for why these times right here are fucking empty, because that's the management. Now, not every manager that works at that place is bad, but a specific person who made probably a lot of people other than me also leave that fucking place is basically put in control and in charge of everything. And that's the reason why this place, even though they have a great location, is going down the same fucking hole as that other company. And there was a time when I also worked for a company down here. I worked for a company on the other side of LAX in this area, and it was it was not a retail store. It was a company that handled cannabis, and out of these three companies, that company was the only one that I would recommend to people. This company this company is a delivery service that services all of California, or most of California. They service fucking all the way down here and fucking like near San Diego all the way up to fucking, damn, it's crazy. I haven't, like, because I used to work for this company, I used to have to look at their map all the fucking time. But yeah, they have service all the way up to Chico. Yeah, I would say all the way up to Chico. Like, I think all this is Forest, and I don't think they have coverage over there. But yeah, so there's a delivery service I worked for, and they deliver from San Diego all the way to fucking, or they deliver in areas from San Diego all the way to fucking Chico. Like, this shit is the most covered ground I can imagine. But even with that, there was someone who built an invisible wall, someone who basically made everything about themselves. Same typical fucking story when you work at a cannabis company, and everything's got to be about them. Every opportunity's got to get shut down because I need to be number one. I need to get this. Why is this person doing this and able to get this benefit from it? Why is this person putting in so much fucking work and able to get everyone around me to smile, but I can't? Oh, I need to make sure that I don't give this person any information that's going to fucking help them do their job until the point where they get frustrated and leave. That's literally how the fuck I left that company I just mentioned. Someone who has all the tools to help me, to help all of us, but wants to keep that shit to themselves, all because I'm putting in fucking work. And I believe that, I still don't get it. Because basically what I would see is him doing his part, and everybody likes him and treats him well, but I'm trying to match that. But then when I talk to the owner of the company, apparently I was doing way more, and that's the reason why people were liking me more, which I never even realized. And that's the reason why I don't even know if I believe it, because I believe that I was just trying to do my part and catch up. But I was told that apparently a lot of people like my work ethic more, and then I realized, I guess that shit's a problem. But long story short, this whole episode was basically intended to be a lesson for all black people in this specific area who have interest in cannabis. There's a reason why they call it the black market, because that's the only section of it that we're allowed. What I saw when I worked at that piece of shit company over here was that a lot of people who have no flavor and no taste put titles on themselves to make themselves seem better, but realistically want to bite a bunch of ideas. I started a clothing company in 2017. I'm wearing one of my shirts right now. This is what art looks like. Not no fucking geoleaf on a jacket. So I started a clothing company in 2017 before I started working at that piece of shit company. And we all saw what happened after I left. We all saw how a lot of fucking clothing companies suddenly started coming up. Even though I always spent so much time watching someone sell the fuck out of fucking pizza, I never saw anyone else copy the pizza idea. I saw a lot of fucking people, even people surrounding him, suddenly come out the woodworks with shirts. And that shit started making me wonder, how ironic how at the time when I first started working for this company, I didn't see anyone making shirts. No, it wasn't even on anyone's fucking mental at all. I checked, believe me. I checked. I fucking checked. But then suddenly, all of a sudden, everybody who was put in a fucking position to get to, I don't know, a cannabis grow facility like what's seen in this picture, everyone who made it so that only they could get the certifications that were needed on their resume to get into a fucking place like this, all those people decided, oh, you know what? I suddenly have this idea to make shirts. I don't know why, but I spent this whole time promoting someone who was making lotion, and I just couldn't promote anything other than that. But then suddenly, out of nowhere, now I have an idea to make shirts. I don't know where it came from, but let's go make some shirts. Let's just get a design. Let's get help. We'll get help on the design, and then we'll make shirts out of it, and then we'll promote the fuck out of it, rather than promoting or helping the people who we kept at the fucking bottom in a photo currently on Google for this fucking company that is permanently closed. Let's completely fuck up and ruin the opportunities and just keep everything for ourselves. And then after that, after all that shit's done, this person who's suddenly resorted only to revamping and restarting their fucking company, let's completely follow him to his events and fucking make it so that the spotlight is on us, and he's pushed all the way to the fucking back every single fucking time. No opportunities whatsoever for him. We can't give him shit. Not just that, we have to take everything from him. We have to make sure that he can't get any certifications to get into a growth facility like this, which is pictured here, which is the whole purpose of him being at this fucking building with us selling cannabis. We're going to completely shut that off. We're going to employ all the white people that we love the most to be in that fucking department, so that way only them have the certifications to suddenly, if they want to, grow at a place like this. And then after that, after we completely fuck that up for him, we're going to make sure that we paint him as a negative person every chance we get, even though he's the only person who positively never said that this place fucking sucks. He always showed up to work every day, worked hard as fuck, showed up on time, always had some positive shit to say, ordered honey kettle, fucking kept to himself, still did music, still did clothing design, still did this and that, still tended to favors, fucking loaned people money, still took time out to go to concerts and shit, keep people updated, showed up to all the fucking events, even the events that the fucking managers kept us from going to. But let's fuck that up, and then let's make it so that none of the people that work here are his friends. And then after that, after all that shit said and done, after we completely fucked up everything and then suddenly started fucking dating the people that work here, which I've seen 2 managers separately do. Coincidentally, their fucking people that they started dating got put into the fucking department that gets a certification for this shit. So that's when it becomes grooming, and that's the reason why that word got put in that fucking song that I played. So not just that, after that, we have to make sure that we go on Instagram, find one of his friends, and then get her to start promoting our fucking products. Even though this nigga just started a fucking clothing subscription service, we've got to get her to promote our fucking products. And then after that, then you'll start a shirt business, you'll promote your shirts, and then you'll start a shirt business, and then we'll promote your shirt. And then him over there, he's going to do art in a different state, and we'll just keep fucking liking and promoting that. And then all of us will move back to California, we'll move back to LA, and then we'll all just move backwards and just do the same shit again. So, black people, if you happen to be in a section that I showed on that map, please come down to these stores that I mentioned that are on Crenshaw to purchase. And then after that, go down to the stores near the beach to not purchase, but just to observe. Just observe. Observe. After everything I said, just observe. Because it's like, even the shit that you see, like, it's all bullshit. Like, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all in front of you, but it's all bullshit. Every time people go on Google and they fucking look up this store, I'm gonna be in that photo by myself. Just remember that shit. This is the facts. So everybody trying to push that positivity shit, These are the facts right here. There's photo evidence. This is really what it is. Everybody inside having the time of their life, leaving this nigga outside. And this nigga right here is me. Remember that. Remember that shit. So on the next episode, on Biohazard RX number 8, I'm going to talk about my clothing company and why I never, ever, ever want to design a fucking shirt again. Peace out.